Collier. In the last segment, we saw how irrational it was for an atheist to make absolute, certain, and objective moral claims about religion when he himself espouses an uncertain, subjective, ethical morality. In this segment, we will look closely at 4 reasons Richard Dawkins enumerates as to why people should be generous towards one another in his book, The God Delusion. Richard Dawkins writes, and I quote, "We now have 4 good Darwinian reasons for individuals to be altruistic, generous, or moral towards each other. First, there is the special case of genetic kinship. Second, there is reciprocation, the repayment of favors given and the giving of favors in anticipation of payback. Following on from this, there is third, the Darwinian benefit of acquiring a reputation for generosity and kindness. And fourth, if Zahavi is right, there is the particular additional benefit of conspicuous generosity as a way of buying unfakeably authentic advertising." The God Delusion, Chapter 6, page 251. This last reason is Dawkins' just fancy way of saying that he believes that some human beings are superior than other human beings, and he believes that that gives them the right to brag, to boast, as he likes to say, advertise that superiority. He thinks that's a good moral principle in humans, which is doesn't sound very moral to me. We see Jesus clearly condemned the sin of pride in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 7, verses 22 through 23. Well, Richard Dawkins has another major problem. You see, you can never deduce an ought from an is. If you look at his 4 descriptive premises, you will notice that the term should appears nowhere within them. In the conclusion, however, the term should magically appears. This is Richard Dawkins attempting to smuggle in that term into the argument. But we're not going to let him smuggle it in. You see, this is a formological fallacy. The rule is very clear. Any term that does not appear in the premise may not appear in the conclusion. So once again, Dawkins has demonstrated to us that his atheism is irrational. Let me just read you a wonderful statement from Calvinist philosopher and theologian Gordon H. Clark. Clark writes, and I quote, "Ethics requires normative principles that never follow from descriptive premises. Therefore, humanism cannot prove that humanism itself is of any value." End quote. From his book Essays on Ethics and Politics, chapter 26, page 130. Since morality can never be sensed, since scientific method can only provide descriptive premises, such as the metal is black, then it is incapable of ever providing ethical or moral theory. Now, science must have an ethics in order to operate. However, it is incapable of producing that ethical theory. And this is why Richard Dawkins is irrational for appealing to scientific method in an attempt to establish